Hi everybody, I'm back with another Ask the Bones. Hold on, let me lower the volume. Okay, that's better. This one is called The Speaking Head, and it's from Eastern Europe. I don't know where though. Stop pressing buttons, book. Okay. The boy felt uneasy traveling to a distant land with a merchant he barely knew. He was going to meet the man's daughter, his future bride. But he had never left Prague before, nor had he been separated from his family. Joseph was only 12 when the merchant approached his father to arrange for the betrothal. That's a word. It seemed as if the two rich men had made a fine match for the children. But when the merchant wanted Joseph to visit his castle, the father hesitated. The boy's bar mitzvah was only 6 months away, and the trip to the castle would take a few weeks. But Joseph was an exceptional student. The merchant promised not only to help the boy with his studies, but also to bring him home long before his bar mitzvah. So the boy's parents, reluctantly, agreed to let him go, and Joseph set forth to meet his future bride. He could not believe his eyes when he and the merchant finally reached the castle, high on a hill. It was immense, with hundreds of rooms and a great tower that brushed the sky. When they opened the massive front door, the merchant called for his servants, but no one answered. He called to his wife and daughter, but no one came.
"They must be visiting elsewhere this week," he said,
as if he weren't the least bit surprised. Yet it seemed strange to Joseph. And when 3 full moons had passed with no sign of the merchant's family, he became anxious. Besides, the merchant had not given him any help with his studies. Indeed, Joseph had not even seen a single book anywhere in the castle. Joseph passed the time wandering up and down the corridors. He discovered that doors. Wow, Georgette, good job. He discovered that doors were open to every room except one, and the one locked room was at the very top of the castle tower. Finally, he asked the merchant if he could see what was in that room.
"Of course,"
said the merchant, and they climbed up the tower stairs. When the merchant unlocked the door, he led the boy inside. Joseph was delighted to see that they had entered a library filled with books.
"You will find everything you need for our studies here," the merchant said.
But while Joseph hurried over to the bookcase, the merchant slipped out the door and turned the key. Joseph was trapped. He ran to the door and tried to open it. He tugged at the handle only to find that it was firmly locked from the outside. He pounded on the door with his fists and called to the merchant, but the only response was the sound of footsteps descending the stairs, until an eerie voice spoke from somewhere in the very small space. "I see they have found a new victim," it said. The boy wheeled around and saw a sight that shocked him so much that he almost fainted, for across the library, sitting on the round table, was an old man's head, severed from his body, and the head was speaking to him. Who are you?" cried Joseph.
80 years ago I was a young boy like you," it said, "when I too was trapped in this room by the evil demon who pretends he is a merchant."
Joseph shuddered. "But what happened?"
"On the day of my bar mitzvah, the merchant came to me with his fellow demons. First they cut off my head, then they wrote a spell on parchment and placed it under my tongue."
That spell
reveals all secrets to me and forces me to reveal those secrets to them. But a speaking head is good for only 80 years, and now they need a new one."
Joseph felt as if the ground had split open beneath his feet. "The merchant wants my head?" he moaned. "That's why he brought me to this terrible castle?"
"But it's not too late for you to escape," whispered the head. "Listen carefully."
Joseph forced himself to move closer so he could, even though the sight of that severed head made him feel faint.
Your only hope, it whispered, is to escape through the secret passage. See the bookcase behind you? Push hard on the third shelf.
Joseph pushed and was amazed to see that it swung open, revealing a dark passage. He was about to rush through it when the speaking head called him back.
Wait! If you don't take me with you, I'll be forced to reveal how to escape and where you can be found. But if you do take me, I can guide you.
Joseph went back to the table and gingerly lifted the gruesome head. He put it under his arm, entered the dark passage, and pulled the bookcase shut behind him. Joseph stood trembling in the dark. How could he move ahead with no torch?
Count 703 steps, said the head. Then feel for a door.
Joseph knew he had not climbed that many stairs on his